Are you guys possibly struggling on the new contest? Well, in today's video, I'll show you how you can win almost all of your matches and easily get to number 1 on the leaderboard. In today's video, I'll explain how the contest works. I'll explain the best comps you guys can play. I'll also explain the game sense behind 2v2 and much more. So, without wasting your time, let's get straight into the video. Now, I know some of you are curious how you can get the most points in a match.
Well, it's really simple.
So, to get the most amount of points in a match, you want to deal a lot of damage. So you basically want to deal the most damage that you can in the match, and also if you do kill the enemy, I think you get an extra 200 points. Now, if you do score in a point or 2 points for Basket Brawl, you get 1,000 points. Now for other modes, I'm not sure how it works, but for Basket Brawl, if you shoot in the net and you get it in, you get 1,000 points. Now, another thing you have to consider is that both of your points are adding up. So, how much points you get and how much points your teammates gets, at the end of the match, it gets added up. So, if your teammate is not doing enough damage, then your points are going to be combined and you're going to get less points. It doesn't matter who did most damage or whatever. Both of your points are being added up is what I'm trying to say. So, knowing this, you kind of do not want to play with someone that's extremely bad, because if you do play with someone that's extremely bad, you're basically just going to be carrying them and they're not going to give you a lot of points. So that is not good. Now, another thing I figured out is, I remember Brawl Stars saying that if you end the match quickly, you're going to get a lot more points. Now, honestly, that is kind of bullshit. You do not get as much points as I thought you're gonna get. You get like an extra maybe 2,000 points, 1,000 points. So it's better to deal more damage than to end the match quickly. Now, if you're playing with an enemy team that is not that good at the game, it's better just to keep on doing damage and trying to make the match end a little bit later. Now, another thing you should know is if you lose, all the points you collected is what you're gonna get. So whatever your teammate got and whatever you got, that's the points you're gonna get. But if you do win, you get an extra 2.5 extra points. So your points get multiplied by 2.5. So a summary of how to get the most points as possible for this event is to deal as much damage as possible. Now, if you deal as much damage as possible, you'll get a lot of points. Now, the ending multiplier, I wouldn't say is even that much, so it's better to deal more points than try to finish the match as fast as possible. Of course, you want to finish the match as fast as possible also, because if the team is sweating, then yeah, you want to end it as fast as possible. But if the enemy team doesn't know how to really play and you can see that you're going to win, obviously, it's better to deal damage and then end the match later on. Now that we're done with that, let's go into the best comps. Now, honestly, there is a lot of comps. Now, first, I'll tell you what most people are playing. Now, what I noticed, there's a trend. People usually for this mode, they go either double tank or they go 2 counters to tanks. So honestly, you want to go something to counter tanks and also be able to be a tank. So honestly, something you want to do a combination of both. So the best brawlers I found for this mode is something like a BB and a Serge. You can go a Gail and a Cordelius. You can go a Buster and a Stu. And now I'll explain how each of the 3 comps work. So let's start out with Serge and BB. Now, BB is such an amazing brawler. It is because if you know how to play BB, she can deal a lot of damage. But another thing is, she can apply so much pressure on this map. It is because there are so much walls that you can apply easy pressure and you can easily get a lot of damage in with her bubblegum and with her hypercharge. So BB is just a great aggressive brawler to play here. Now, Serge is good to counter against any tank comps. So if someone tries to go double tank, you need to play this comp a bit more carefully if someone is playing double tank, since Serge cannot deal that much damage, but that's why you have his gadget. His gadget can just reload ammo super quickly, and you have that super to stay threatening. Now, you do not want to waste your super for no reason. You kind of want to keep his super, and if they try to push in with the ball, you kind of just want to jump on them. So that can easily make you win matches. Now, let's go into the Gail and Cordelius combo. Now, Gail and Cordelius is such a good combo, and it is because Gail can just easily counter tanks, and Cordelius is just a great brawler in general for 2v2, and it is because he can easily make the game mode into a 1v1 situation. Now, the main part is Cordelius in this comp, but Gail is basically just going to defend against tanks and whatever brawlers he can counter easily, which is tanks like Frank, Bull, Buster, BB, any of those brawlers. Also, you can use his gadget to easily defend if someone is pushing you, so if they're really close to your net, you can place that gadget and it can easily just get the ball out of their hands. Now, for Cordelius, you need to have game sense with him. Cordelius is such an important brawler on this map, and it is because if you do not know how to play Cordelius correctly, you're going to end up losing the whole match. Now, what you want to do is, when you're playing Cordelius, you want to super brawlers that Gail cannot deal with. Now, if Gail cannot deal with, for example, Frank, and he has too much health, and he's about to score it in, you want to super. But specifically, if a Gail cannot counter a Piper, for example, right? Because the Piper outranges the Gail. You want to keep on supering the Piper. And because Gail can deal with the tank, for example, it's a Primo, he can easily kill the Primo or super him away and score easily. Now, basically, all this comp comes to is a 2v2 game sense. Now, let's go to the Buster and Stu combo. Now, first, let's talk about Stu. Stu is really amazing here, and it is because he can get his super quickly. Now, that's not the thing. What makes him great is he can easily try to score 3-pointers or 3 points or whatever you want to call it, and if he does shoot it outside of the ring, so there's an area basically on the Brawl Ball thing on the map, and if he shoots outside of it, you can get 3 points. Now, basically what this does is, if you get 3 points, and then you get another 2 points, you can easily win the match. So instead of having to shoot it 3 times, you only have to shoot it in twice. And that makes Stu such a good brawler for this map. Now, let's go to Buster. Buster can easily just defend himself against long-range brawlers when he has a super, and that just makes him amazing. But that's not the best part. The best part about Buster is his gadget. His gadget allows to pull enemies, and that basically is such an OP mechanic for 2v2. Now, if you have his gadget and you're about to push to their net, when they're about to like super you or anything, you can easily activate your gadget, pull them, and shoot it in. And that just makes this comp super good, as Buster can easily activate a super to just start pushing, and Stu can easily get 3 points and then get another 2 points, which can easily end the match quickly, and you guys can deal a lot of damage. So now let's quickly go to game sense. Now, I'll explain it more in other videos, but really simply, basically, if one of your teammates dies in 2v2, the match is going to be so hard for the other teammate unless you have a good defending brawler like Gail or Serge. Now, if one of your teammates dies, they can easily start pushing, and that can cause a lot of stress on you guys, and you guys can panic and do something stupid. So the best way to play 2v2 is to try not to die and try to survive. Basically, you're just trying to survive, and when you kill one of the enemy team, you kind of just want to start pushing. And when you start pushing, they cannot really do anything unless they know how to defend really well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Now, if you did enjoy the content, consider leaving a like and subscribing, as I do content like this and I try to make as much content as possible. And yeah, have a good day and bye bye.